Welcome to Module 2.3, Elements of Interaction. Course activities and learner interaction coming from Quality Matters requires that online instructors promote the achievement through interaction. So these learning activities can be varied. What they have in common is that they are interactive or collaborative. One of the key features of interaction that we often forget is that is the interaction of instructor to student feedback. So for example, any assignment that you give, whether it's a quiz or an exam or the discussion forum, it's important that students get concrete and specific feedback. And I think the tool that we use most effectively with Canvas is its grading rubric, where a student can get information very quickly on how well he or she is doing. We oftentimes, though, think of learner interaction among students. And so the most common method for online instructors to facilitate a learning environment is to create required weekly discussions. And so most typically, faculty will have a discussion forum for the week and will either pick a topic that he or she thinks is important, that students can provide both synthesize information from the text and lectures, as well as provide personal thoughts and reactions or experience. And the way that I design my classes is pretty typical, is to have each student present a primary reply or post where I pose a question, and my questions are really quite broad. Pick something you find interesting or engaging in a lecture or in the reading, and then students are asked to identify something and then to present it. And the presentation has to be analytical. It can't simply be a summary of this is what I found, and the analysis can't be simple in terms of just a simple sentence, for example, or even words. Sometimes students will say, this is what I learned and this was shocking, and that's not enough. So there has to be an analytical component, an application component. So I ask students to apply this to their own personal experience, and that's not always easy. It's depending on the content of your course. A math course may be more challenging than, say, a psychology course where the course content is about individuals. I also require, and you should, good grammar, spelling, punctuation, complete sentences. And I recommend breaking this into at least two phases. The first phase is the primary phase, where students react to the discussion topic. And they do this before midweek or by no later than Thursday or Friday, where a student will present a primary posting or a primary reply. And this is in some ways made easier and better by Canvas, because a student can't access a discussion forum until they post their primary reaction. They don't have the opportunity of reading other people's postings as they did with my CR. I also have a minimum word of 300 for the primary posting. 250 is typical, 300 is typical. I would discourage you from having it be real brief, like 100 words, for example. 300 words is about a page. And then, prior to the Sunday night deadline, students have to pick two of their classmates' postings and reply to them. And so I ask for a thoughtful reaction, focusing on the student's post. So it's not simply sufficient for a student to say, oh yeah, that reminds me of, and then talking about themselves. The focus has to be on the student's posting. And then I have minimum of 150 words and correct grammar and spelling. I'm going to pull up here just one second, pull this down here and show you the my class and its use of discussion forums. So this is my current class in Canvas, and on the left you'll see the menu, and if you pick modules, you'll find that for every chapter, and we'll come down to where we are today, chapter 12, chapter 13. With every module chapter, there is a discussion forum. And so I have the discussion for week 13, a discussion for week 14, and my discussion forum essentially looks like this. So I put a picture, the topic, and then I give the prompt. Select a topic from one of the 3 chapter sections, and what you find most interesting and engaging. I've been using this kind of prompt for a number of years now. I've tried more narrow with mixed success, and I've found that this broader topic, at least for the way I teach my class and for the content I have in my class, seems to work out really well. I list below here the grading criteria, which is then built into the rubric that I then use to grade the students. Okay, so going back to our presentation here. So while discussions are one way to promote student learning, another way is through collaborations. And collaboration is different in the sense that students aren't engaging other students in discussion, for example, or they're not simply adding something to a whole like pieces to a puzzle, but rather this is a context where student participation is required for the success of the project. So, for example, it's commonly used in English composition courses where the students write and then they share their papers with peers, and then there's a peer evaluation, and peers will give feedback. Or another way, maybe in some classes have a class project where there's a topic, a paper that will be presented that is the result of 3 or 4 people's work. So, for example, if I come back out of this slideshow and open up, let's go right here to next semester's class. I'm not going to show you last semester's class or this semester. I have a list of student names. I didn't want to break confidence with that. So this is next semester's class. It's not developed yet, but I brought it up to show you the menu on the left in Canvas, and at the bottom you'll find collaboration. And so you can include this as a tool where you can use either an Etherpad or Google Docs to create a shared document, and you can then decide who will participate in that particular group. You can have, say, for example, you can assign either randomly or by design, or the students can select 5 people who are going to write on topic X, and then topic Y can be written by another 5 people, and they all contribute to a common document. Okay, coming back here, I want to show you this resource that then you can access to develop your own discussion format and method, as well as collaboration. So I have 4 links here. The first link gives you an overview of how to use Canvas for discussion, how to create a discussion, and how to create and use collaboration. And then this last link is a broader and in many ways more in-depth series of videos, the last of which is a demo of how you can use collaboration in a classroom online, or you can use this course in your face-to-face class as well to use to get collaborative efforts through technology. So I would encourage you to watch these Canvas videos, and then finally, when you have questions about pedagogy, how to do this in ways that meet your course learning outcomes, you could see the DE faculty coordinator, and then when you have an interest or questions about technology and its use, you could see Reno Giovanetti, who is our instructional technologist.